Hey, this is CANDIA Raquel, and you are at the Sensual Sessions Podcast, the place to explore sensing pleasure through your senses and moving in a way that is free from inhibition and full of self expression. To make sure that you're getting these episodes delivered on your inbox weekly, go to my website, candiaraquel.com, and get yourself signed up. Today, we have a very special guest. This is the Sayra Player. She is an actor, writer, maker, mother, breathworker, founder of The Playground New York, LA, and Guided by Glow. Guided by Glow is the number one sexual meditation app, a somatic sexual embodiment audio journey, and it's been featured on Goop, Yoga Journal, Pop Sugar, Daily Beast, The Sun, Cosmo, and Woman and Home. Welcome, Sarah. I am so honored and happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for finding Glow and for sharing this work with your community. I'm really excited.
I'm so excited too. So tell us, how did the idea of creating Glow came to mind?
Okay. Well, I'm an actress and I'm a method actress, and that means that we use our reality, our inner life, and bring our true self to the work. And one of the ways that method actors um, become so alive and in the moment is through their senses and this somatic embodying practice of scanning your senses and putting all of your awareness on each sense, and then creating place and the wind and the feel of the earth under you, and then suddenly you're this whole free responsive organism, right? When you see a great actor, they're just alive and sparkling and impulses are flying and they're turned on, they're wide awake and alive. So I had the idea listening to a podcast, a meditation, and I thought the guy had a really nice voice, and I was just meditating. But then I thought, it, having somebody turn me on with this kind of connection in their voice, this kind of spiritual guidance that's talking to my soul and my whole body being invited into some experience, I was like, this must be a thing. This has got to be a thing. And so I looked, and I found little websites here with individual practitioners, and I found things that, whoa, you don't want to put the wrong thing inside your ears. It's like really hard to let go. So I did some searching, um and I didn't find anybody doing this thing that I had imagined, of like creating this imaginative, sensual, sensory experience of an embodied erotic journey to be taken with somebody who had some kind of heart-centered, kind of soulful awareness to take you through it. Like, anyway, so that's been my goal now for 4 years. I've been making this, and there's hundreds of sessions now, tons of voices, different people, different backgrounds. I have artists who are just like great people. They're on television. Everybody's anonymous. Lots of people, faces you'd recognize, but you don't know. Really talented, New York actors. And, they're all different, like I was saying, but they have to have that heart-centered piece that was with that original aha, and really have a need to inspire this woman with the earbuds in. I'm always like, you're right in her ear. It can be so sexy. Like, and it's been such a wild thing to open this door for women, men, non-binary people to come in and speak into people's ear like that. It's so much fun. They have so much fun. It's not like this, nobody's ashamed or doing like this naughty thing. It's just this beautiful offering that happens to be intensely erotic and sexual, directly sexual. By the end, we get there.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that because it gets fully sexual and
Yeah.
and climatic and orgasmic even by the end. So it's not starting with the end as most footage that you see. It's like, come
It's
on,
not
like
straight to the genitalia.
yeah,
It's the whole
yeah,
body,
it's
mind.
the whole body, and it's like so considerate for
Right?
for a female body. Like we take like 15 minutes to fill with blood down there. Like we need almost 1 cup of blood in the vulva to fully be like ready to get the sexual intercourse
I
fully.
love the biologist in the room. This
Yeah,
is amazing.
yeah, biology.
A full cup of blood, and is that why it gets swollen? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like we get swollen with a full cup of blood, and then you understand like it takes a while, like it takes a village of cells and things and to get that thing going. And
Yeah.
it's like we have a very different body than biological guys, men.
Mhm.
And the thing is that most footage out there that I have seen, whenever I feel like non-creative and I need some inspiration, is produced for the male consumption. And that's
Mhm.
the word consumption in an extractivist way. And it's angled from the main arousal thing for men, that is the gaze. Men are very, very, very visual.
Mhm.
And we women like get turned on by, I think there's no even a specific thing that we can point at because we tend to the infinite. I believe.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Amen. I
yeah,
think science will say a lot of research will say men are visual and women want mental framing. But you're right that maybe the mental framing is the door, but what we want is cosmic, is
yeah,
oceanic. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Like I have a friend that just walked into Playa del Carmen turquoise waters of the Caribbean and she had an orgasm. Like she was like, what the fuck is going on? And she had to lay in the floor and like, okay, I know what's going on and I'm here for it.
Oh,
Like that. And she that happened.
yeah.
And the best friend of my mother had an orgasm during childbirth. And it was the same thing. Like, and we are culturally educated that it's like non-civilized to be orgasming at the beach nor during childbirth. And like I think my first orgasm was during a ballet class that we had to cross the legs so tight and that those muscles squeezed something and it was like, oh my, what's going on? And yeah, like we have those kind of experiences, and I believe it has to do with how our sensuality and sexuality are so intertwined, and our ability to pleasure. All of this to say that I finally found like my my preferred mental framing for arousal, aka porn source, that is glow. Like, yeah, yeah, like,
It's
okay,
beautiful. I love it.
yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
because it's like, okay, there's a whole storytelling atmosphere, birds or music or solfeggio frequencies, and a very hot guy can be talking to your ear, or it can also be like a guy. There's one about sexual magic And I replayed it a couple of times, and I was going for the third time, and then I was like, am I lesbian? Because like I am listening to the voice of a woman, but it was more like a sisterhood thing, or like a angelic guide or whatever. So yeah, like with her guide, I felt like it was like my own voice leading me through the journey,
Oh, wonderful.
and I liked
Yeah,
it.
my instinct was to keep it 50-50. Um, I I'm, non-practicing bisexual, but and been with really only men, but I think women are just more open, and I feel like I may have been fully bisexual if I had the door, didn't make myself close the door from a young age. And
Yes.
and also, I think that thing happens where it feels like we're in an experience with a sister,
Yes.
or just a wise guide. And she's beautiful. That's Janine McKinnon, and she is. There's a couple of guides who are in sexual wellness who are not anonymous, and I have more sex magic ones coming. I told you about my manifesting. I
Yes.
am tapped into the manifesting magic of being a human, and it's wild. I love it. It's so fun.
It's it's wild. Yes. I don't know if we have just came out of the closet somehow on an episode. But
Oh.
I love what Glow brings, that is a safe space for intimate sexuality, self-inquiry,
Mhm.
meaning like it doesn't get weird. There's no like those power dynamics that are behind any filmed footage. There's
Mhm.
actually nothing going on because it's just voice and
Mhm.
your imagination. So
And if something turns you off, boom, it's over.
yeah,
You get to choose what you like and don't like.
yeah, and I feel that it doesn't there's nothing that could turn you off. The worst that can happen is it won't turn you on. So it would be
Oh,
like just this is like listening to the background music of the supermarket. So let's see another one.
yes.
And it's because of that reason that I feel it's so safe. It doesn't
Mm,
get creepy. Like yeah.
I agree. And that's what we need. I didn't have very safe places to feel sexual growing up, to
Yeah.
explore. Um, I mean, boy, porn then, oh, what would come in my consciousness? Oh God. And I tried to figure out how to do all those things, to disconnect from my body and just please somebody.
Yeah, and disassociate. And that's huge. I think because what is out there, not only in porn, but in magazines, in in marketing, even in film, is like a certain indoctrination of roles and how things should be. And even if we are like free thinkers and like free women and emboldened,
Mhm.
I don't know, professionals and whatever, like that has
Mm.
been like fed into our minds.
And the poor, I mean, I feel even worse. I mean, I do. I feel even worse for men. I feel like at least we are getting these messages. Like we know eventually we find out this isn't good. Let's stop.
Yes.
A lot of men never figure out like to truly feel pleasure. and connect and embrace their feminine side, like that's when stuff starts really lighting up for men. And it's still super closed off for them, much more than for us. So men, if you hear this, download the app.
Yeah, get it.
Learn.
Yeah, learn. Because you're right. You're right. Like, I am generally against, not against men, but against toxic masculinity and patriarchy and macho men in Mexico and stuff and in the world. But it's true because, like, they have been given only two places where they are allowed to feel a speck of emotion. One is sex and the other is football.
It's like, she better say sports. I know they can let it fly 100%. My husband, I would watch him. He's very shy, and I would watch him in the beginning of our relationship when he would watch sports. And I was very young when we met, and I was like, "Oh, this is where your emotions go."
You're an emotional being.
Very emotional.
Yes. Lucky you, both.
I know he's
yes. Yes. So that's one of the few places men get to, like, we women are like more tolerated when we get crazy, but when in actuality we are just feeling our things. But in general, I think we didn't create, we hadn't like sandbox, like a, when you're a little kid, you have your sandbox to learn and explore the things pertaining to that developmental stage. But when we become teenagers, we don't have a safe sandbox to explore and experience sexuality. You just like repeat what's been modeled by your parents or by film or society or what your friends tell you. And how sad. Like, I am 42 years old and I am just realizing that I am creating this like safe sandbox for self-inquiry. And I feel that Glow is a great, great, great tool because you're not watching a screen where one of your senses is distracted.
Mm, mm.
And even better, if you close your eyes, your sensitivity, your proprioceptive and kinetic systems get heightened by an 80%. I think that's great
I
marketing
just
for you.
wrote down 90%.
Yeah.
I just wrote down 90% because I was going to say the same thing.
So, like, you really get to feel more if you close your eyes.
Yes, much more of your senses can come alive. All of them: smell, taste, touch.
Yeah. And the thing is that then if you close your eyes, your thoughts also get louder and the distraction gets louder. And I feel that when you are like practicing uh, solo self-sexual stimulation, aka masturbating on your own,
Yeah.
yeah, you can get like carpal tunnel syndrome
Oh.
or overuse your toys or whatever. Because, like, okay, I am here alone with myself. What do I do now?
Where's the surprise? You know?
Where's the surprise? And I think that it's great to be able to take yourself on your own erotic and fantastic journey, but your recordings, like, do that for you, and that can be like a relief if you're not just in that creative mood. And then I think it also gives you kind of permission, like, okay, it's there's nothing bad with what I am doing. I am enjoying myself, which is like super, super liberating. So
there's a lot of avenues to expanding your sexual wisdom. There's a lot of different ways, so I've tried to curate, you know, um, some that are just working with somatic embodiment, and some that are, working with different sound frequencies and how they affect your body, some working with different breath work and how that affects your body, manifestations, astrology. There's all these different avenues to get more excited about being a sexual being, so it's like, oh, I'm interested in gardens, I'll read a book about gardens. It's just like nourishment. It's just adds to whatever you've already got. And if you're not, I know a lot of women after menopause will start to believe they've lost their sex drive. And I really believe that it's because of believing that and not practicing. So if you're out of practice, I go through spells, I'll go out of practice and I'll be like, oh my God, I forgot I'm a sexual being for a little while. And be like, I don't feel like it. Like when I don't feel like going to yoga, even though I'm like, my body's all crunched up, I can get in those states. And I feel like it's a very human thing to do. So it's also there for women who are losing touch with their sexuality to get inspired again. And the way in, I really think there's probably a lot of ways in, getting surprised by a sexy voice and all the different things. But what it boils down to, I think, is getting back to the minutia of feeling into your body. I think those times I don't want to go to yoga, I don't want to do this good thing for me or that, is when I kind of get tight and I'm not opening up to life. So I feel like it's the same with my spiritual health as it is with my sexual health. So I think Glow is a good resource for that also. And I did want to say about the teen, I was doing internal family system work and working with all my parts when I was making this, my inner child and my inner teen and critic and all the, whatever we want to name all these parts of ourselves. But my teen, this thing was so for her, I mean, it was a love letter to all the things that her young body was ready for, so yeah, thanks for saying that. I agree.
Yeah, a love letter to the young body of your teenage self that was ready for. It's like, okay, I am an adult. I take an adult decision of listening this, and I know what I am doing, and it's like, okay, I'm making it up for that younger self that just didn't have the resources, and the cultural context was not like ready. Like we didn't have the internet. I was a pre-internet teen, or no, I think it was just there when the internet became available.
No, they were weird VHSs.
Yeah,
that would just come into our reality somehow.
yeah,
Like it.
yeah, yeah. I love it. How important is to pay attention to our sexual self health, because like general health, like your heart, your kidneys, your lungs, like we know we have the right for general health since like forever. And mental health, it's more recent, I think, because I remember that I told my grandmother once that, why don't you go to therapy? And she was like, I am not crazy. And I was like, yes, you are crazy. But there, still to our days, there is a huge belief that if you're suffering from mental health issues, is because you're like a lunatic. Like you really should be like tied and locked into a psychiatric institution, like Hannibal Lecter, and it's not like that. Like now we are more, first off, more respectful of the mental health of the self and others. But I feel that the realm of sexual health, just for the sake of it, meaning aside of reproductive health, is kind of recent. Like especially for women. Like I think your Glow app is groundbreaking in that sense. Like I have never heard about anything like that before. And in the moment I found out, like I DM'd you on Instagram, and then
Oh, thank you, thank you.
yeah, like last week, and I found the of course there has been resources and books and Mantak Chia doing his great thing with feminine sexual Tao and stuff. But yeah, I feel it's time to make it up for ourselves and for the women that came before us, and like establish that sexual health is important for all women. Like what you say, to have this space and remember that you are a sexual being, no matter if you are post menopause. Sexuality and this energy of arousal is the libido. It's the vital potency, and sometimes, if not most of the times, we put it away because of our, I don't know, we just don't care about it. But it has a lot to do these cultural preconceptions. Like there are people that even think that masturbating is cheating or stuff like that.
Oh, they'll think all sorts of things. They'll think all sorts of crazy things about masturbation. I love what you were saying earlier. I think it might have been before we were recording when you were talking about, I think you said pleasure is our birthright.
Yes.
Yeah. And for me, I love to believe that pleasure is our baseline. Like I remember having a baby, having this little baby and watching her, and it was like I could see her cells, I could see her glowing, and I could see just pleasure radiating through her whole being. She'd smile, and it was like you could just feel pleasure move through her whole body. I could hold her and it would like come into my body, you know. And you can see a little, you can see that, right? And then we get older, and then there's blocks, and then there's gotta, and you know, you cram it all down, and then it's blocked. I like that framework. It works for me, and I feed that pleasure body all day long by breathing, by feeling connected to the universe. You know, anytime I almost always try to connect to a sense of just a good feeling in my body. I also have lots of bad feelings in my body to pay attention to. And, you know, I do work with those in yoga and breath work. But this, like, where is that baseline of pleasure is allowed throughout the entire day is kind of profound, a sense of glimmer and glow. And so, yes, of course, the ecstatic pleasure of sexuality is included, you know, and that entryway of the breath into it with these recordings is very powerful. But to think that sexual health isn't attached to our whole body health, it makes me think of the chakra system. A lot of the time I'll think about that. We have a lot about that in the app also, but I will feel, if I haven't had sexual specific pleasure in a long time, if I meditate and feel into my sexual center, there is a stuck energy, right? And if I am, you know, feeling pleasure there regularly, feeling true and authentic, and, connecting with people when I really want to connect with people. It feels open, expansive, and it's my creative center, and it's my power center. That's the chakra. And it's, for me, it it works. I walk through the world as a more sensual, connected, receptive, grounded being because I take care of myself sexually.
Yes, yes. You walk into the world with the totality of you, like it's you who comes forth at the encounter with the world, with the moment, with the reality, with the others, with the challenges, with the celebrations. But it's almost as if we leave our sexual center behind and we let that that aspect in us to just be abandoned and stagnated. It's almost as if the part of us that comes forth into the world is just a shadow. It's just the remains. It's just like being alive but not fully living. Or, yeah. And I feel, yeah, it has to do with sovereignty and ownership, and also like basic maturity of adulthood. Like pay your pay your bills and make sure you're sexually satisfied. Like in this house, sex is being had every day or every Wednesday at 8 p.m., whether the beloved is in the mood, is in the house or not.
Mm.
Like, yeah, we have breakfast, lunch, dinner. So why wouldn't we be with our sexual self like regularly? I don't mean it as part of a routine or a schedule or something that falls into duty or what we should be doing, because there's already enough of that, especially for women, how we should comply to a certain role or whatever during sexuality, during sex. But I love that what this project of Glow offers is many angles, many voices, many journeys that climax with sexuality. But the other day I was just feeling really tired, and I said like I'm gonna listen to one of the Glow audios, and I was like zero turn on because I was like super
Mhm.
zero turn on, but the relaxation, the coming into my body allowed me to get unstuck in my vitality, in my energy, and I was like, okay, I feel that my cheeks are getting like blushing, naturally blushing again, and I am getting like more creative, and so I love that as well, because like it's almost as if you have the guidance of the audio or the meditation, but it's not such a stock frame. Like you can maneuver more with your experience, or even like the journey of the audio is done, it's finished. Like you already did the 20-minute thing, but you
Mhm.
still got yourself going, and then it's almost as if these are like inspirations to then dive deeper into yourself. So it has just the right amount of guidance and structure, and the right amount of openness and spaciousness, which I believe is something great for we women, that we identify and like fully and with this kind of experience of pleasure that is like not so genitally localized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Should be full body.
Should be full body.
Better. It's that big cosmic oceanic thing we were talking about, which we are very capable of and long for, I think.
And long for. Yeah, really, like you said, pleasure is our baseline, not only our birthright, because then there's a right that we have different now. it's
Mm,
it's primal.
yeah.
So how is a regular meditation of glow? Like I already know, but I know it from an audience perspective. So
Yeah.
what's behind like the structure or the plan?
Structure is a drop in, which is getting the listener to go into their senses. So we might lay out a story and have you imagine the breeze or feel the rays of the sun. And if you say that to someone, it oh, your cheek feels different, and you have this creative flow happening. And then it would go on to the, a touch, and then my hands across your collarbone, and you're imagining, and you're this sense of touch, maybe some smell would come in. Or it's breath work, focus on different kinds of breath work, but something to get you going into an experience and less thinking and more feeling.
Yes.
And then, once you kind of get hooked into that and your body's a little like, ooh, then we bring in more imagination and more of that touch and more of like deliberately exciting language and imagery. And then I try to get all of them to be pretty erotic at the end. It takes a little while to get there, but which I like, because apparently I somehow knew what was it, 15 minutes for the cup of blood.
Yeah. Yeah, to get our cup full down there.
Yes. And right about then, I tell the guides to, don't be afraid to be sexy, like unleash yourself and connect like in the wild erotic space that is fantastic. And so yeah, that's how it goes. And then then we just do that over and over again, all sorts of different ways.
Yes, I love it. And now that I am getting a sneak peek behind the scenes of
Mhm.
Glow, I can see your method acting. Like, okay,
Mhm.
there's an embodiment to it, and there's an experiential intent. So
Mhm.
it's it's not only an erotic app, it's
Also an acting
a
app.
creative app.
No, I mean, I can coach someone and they'll come in and they'll be like, hey, nice to meet you, blah, 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 and they have to do this scene. And, I'll just take them through their senses and then begin to, focus their senses on the circumstances. And then once your imagination starts going, you're just in flow. So then they're just flowing with impulses and alive. And so, yeah, it's
Yeah,
very much that.
yeah, yeah. I love it. It's really a practice of learning how to come into the body and get in the mood, and also to increase the capacity or the availability to welcome pleasure, and especially the pleasure that the moment brings to you. Because even if you do the same audio every day, what you will experience is different. as I imagine that it happens when you're acting and rehearsing the same thing over and over and over, there's like there's a coming into the state or shifting state, which brings me to manifestation.
My favorite.
Yeah, because I've been curious about manifestation for about a year, and I can say I have spontaneously manifested stuff in the past. For example, I met the German Pilates Method Alliance, Verena Hebeniger, in the first conference I went to Pilates in the States. And I remember watching her website, and there was a picture of her studio in Germany with a nice, it was a nice big classroom with a view to the garden. And I forgot about it. It was like, yeah, that's what I want. And completely forgot about it. Then I lived in Amsterdam. Then I put my first Pilates studio, Mexico City in La Condesa. And my second studio was exactly like that. I didn't realize until like a lot time passing, like I was just standing there on the back wall of my studio, and I saw the springboards attached to the wall and the floor reformers, the Allegro, for the group classes. And then it hit me. It was like, and a full, like there was no wall on one end of the classroom. It was just like a huge window with a view to the garden. And I was, oh my God, this is a Mexican version of Verina's studio, like that. And it was like amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Like how this embodying of a state can create this external source of that state, which is,
Really?
yeah, like that. But seems that you know more about it. So can you tell us? Like these are just my
Well,
conclusions.
I do. I mean, I have, I love, my witchy ways, our witchy ways as women and people. So I do breath work too. So I lead breath work, and every new moon is when that's the time, right, to plant the seeds and be like, this is it. And then it goes to the full moon, and you let it all go. You don't attach to anything, and trust that, like, again, also your dreams can be the baseline, because the actual reality could be way beyond your wildness, and it usually is, right? So new moon, and then I with the sex magic, that's what you want with manifesting, is to visual. Everybody does it differently. This is what works for me and a lot of people, is to visualize very specifically, embodied, full sensory. What does it smell like? What is the light like? What does the air feel like in this vision? So you create this vision in a meditation or breath work or whatever, and or in one of these sex magic meditations, which we'll have a couple. We have some, and we'll have more coming. And in that, the higher the state, the more the attraction to the universe or whatever is the theory. Which, I mean, the kind of stuff that's happened to me, it's like, I'm such a believer in all of it. I also believe in science, so I'm sure there is a scientific explanation for it, because it's real. And I mean, positivity and high vibration is attractive. If I am really tuned up and I go into a space, everybody's like, what's going on? They just want to, like, feel great. So anyway, so you do the meditation, and in it you visualize with all of your senses. I do a practice where sometimes I'll do a breath work, and I'll have you envision when, because there's a point in breath work where your body is just like lit up. There's one on there that you could do that I lead, and it's not super erotic, it's just breath work, but you can try it. It's called Black Obsidian. It's for the wand, the Black Obsidian wand.
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't click on it, but I will.
Okay, so
Black,
that one
yeah.
is breath work, so you'll get the high vibration. But when you're in that and you're visualizing with all of your senses, that kind of energy is what pulls it. And then afterwards, I'll have us, sometimes it's imagine journal this day, a year from now or 3 years from now, and you'll date it, and then you'll just write as if it's happening. And you write also sensorially, as if you're in the place and all these things are happening. And then sometimes I have people, we will vision board afterwards. And the more, in the journal, I'll have people, if we have the audacity, we read it to each other. And so in the reading, or even in the breath work, you can be like, visualizing your bank account, okay? And seeing as many zeros as you want, okay? And so you're feeling, by this point, you can feel every little ping that happens in your body, right? So you visualize it, and then you can feel like how much of you is resisting it. So you let it go. You're letting go and burning through the resistance, and you're connecting like how much love and like inner child joy can I bring to the idea that I have $500 million. What does that feel like? Can that feel clean and wonderful? Can that feel like the most fun thing ever, and not like, not me, that can never, none of that comes in. So you kind of do this breathing practice to shed away the dark. And then you read the journal, and it's like, how much of me is humiliated to say, I want an Academy Award? How much of me wants to hide under a table and be like, I want, can I just say it out loud? Can I just like want it beautifully? And so the more you do all these practices, and then you get to sometimes we vision board, and it's like, how playful can I be? How, like, I did it with these women once, and oh my God, we had so much fun. At first we were like, should I want this or that? And then by the end, we were just like, oh my God, here's the Chanel bag for you. And here's you need to go horseback riding. And like, we were all just giving things. And then that was the one where I saw the picture of the desert with the mountains. And I was like, I want to go here, and I want to make a great piece of art. And I put it on, and I just felt so full of joy and creativity. And then a week later, I was flying into Mexico and saw like desert and mountains and thought, what? I hadn't auditioned for it before. It was not in the reality at all. I was like, this life is magic, man. It is just magical.
Yeah, like it's really magical. And I love how much of the practice is about shedding negativity.
Yeah.
Old patterns.
It's never going to go away 100%. We have to love that part of ourselves that's trying to protect ourselves. It's trying to keep us safe. But we got to feel it. And we got to say, chill, stop blocking all the goodness. I got this. We're safe.
Yeah, I got this. We're safe. And I feel that's also at the core of any fulfilling sexual experience. It's like, it's okay, I got this. Like, I am the adult self, and like, we are good here. And now it's like time to open, enjoy, bloom. Like this poem of Anais Nin that said that there came a time that it was more painful and scary to stay tight, stuck in a bud, than what it takes to bloom.
Mm. Yeah.
And like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you live in your fullest splendor here now? Like,
It's
this is
scary. It can be scary.
it can be scary. It can be scary.
Yeah.
And then it can also be scary not doing it.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. That's why, fear, when fear moves through the heart, it becomes courage. When you put love in your fear, you become courageous. And I
Yes.
can do that. I do scary things. I love doing scary things.
Like what? Tell us. Besides creating the
Oh God, that was so
yeah.
scary. Are you kidding? Oh my God. That was really scary. I'm Midwestern, like I don't talk about sex. I don't, I was never, that was very scary. That's maybe one of the biggest, but I mean, stepping on a stage, getting in front of a camera with like 200 people looking, doing a podcast. What kind of dumb thing am I going to say? I mean, I used to have so many debilitating inner voices, and they haven't left. They just get a lot of love.
Wow.
So, but I have learned that all the scary things, when I do them, I grow so much and I learn so much. These podcasts, when I do them, I get to talk to the coolest people. That's all I'm thinking is like, bottom line, I'm going to have so much fun getting to know you and connecting with you and learning from you. And I hope people listen, and I really hope people download Glow and fall in love with it and, get really excited about their sexuality.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's worth it. It's worth it to be
It's
scared.
worth it. Like we already live in this house that we live in,
Yeah.
and it has a huge garden that looks like a desert because it hasn't been watered in a while. And you have the hose and the full water tank. You just need to open the hose and water your plants, and your inner sexual garden will bloom. The thing is, all those fears that some of them are there for a reason, some of them are like inherited trauma and whatever, but like I feel that there are enough resources. If you find something along the way that, oh my God, I have a huge trauma here, when that's a great news because if you see it, if it comes to the surface, you can do something about it and go to therapy and solve it and move on with your life and live.
Enter a growth state. That is a
Yes,
pleasure state. That
yes.
waking up to some new evolved you. Like every time I discover another thing that's, needs some healing in me, I'm like, okay, here we go. This is gonna be a little uncomfortable, but I know for a fact it's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, yeah. Like unlocking the next level of openness, delight, being here in the world, and having yourself, like you having yourself fully, having your back, having yourself, and being the gift instead of like just bleeding yourself out to give something valuable to someone else. But yeah, it's valuable because it's your blood. Don't give it away. Like,
Oh my God. Well, I was definitely trained to just
yeah, we women are like
open
very
and
givers,
give. Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean that's
I
good
love I love to
when you
give. I
have,
mean, I
yeah,
love it,
it's
but I
beautiful.
not so much that it drains me anymore. I have a
Yeah,
real sense of my emotional bank account, my wellness bank account. When I'm getting near, not even near low, near medium, I'm like, whoa.
yeah, yeah. And I have just like gonna publicly acknowledge that most of the times I am more comfortable helping people, advising other people, doing the best for other people, and yeah, taking care of everyone else before me. And That's
Oh, yeah.
wrong.
I mean, I still haven't figured out how to put myself before my child. I don't know if I'll ever figure that out. I mean, I could have a leg chopped off and she'd be like, Mom, can you hand me that? I'd be like, yeah, sure, hold on. I'm coming. I don't know if I'll ever master that one. She's 12 now, so we'll see. I just don't have it in me. But
and that's great also because like okay, it's required for a mother to to put the child before her, otherwise she wouldn't be 12 years and we wouldn't be here if our mothers and grandmothers and etc. But the thing is like when and how much, and I feel that taking responsibility as adult as it sounds for our sexual health and being fulfilled at the baseline is not only, I mean, yeah, that's that's as important as, I don't know, eating and brushing your teeth and everything. And I believe that is the well that will quickly replenish your vitality, because when you tap into your sexual force, your sexual energy, it's like simply you get your hormones and blood flow and oxygenation going on, like it's primal, the sexual impulse. And I believe that it's great to
yeah,
work with
it's
that.
your creative center, it's your second chakra. I mean, it's your whole body, but it's, that I heal through creativity, life feels most in flow when I am being creative. And I don't think that's just because I'm an artist. I think it's true for bankers. I think it's true for humans, that's the flow where we heal. So that's the center, I think disconnecting from the sexual creative center really doesn't serve you if you are here to heal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't serve you, neither the world that requires the best of us, especially in these times.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
would you share with us a little meditation or something to tap into our creative center energy?
Um, let's do, okay, you want to do something?
Do something.
Okay, so sit.
A quickie.
A quickie, sit well. Anchor your sit bones. Take a deep inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Sigh. Another inhale through the nose. And sigh, drop your shoulders. And keeping that long, deep breath through the nose. And envisioning a root system coming out through your sit bones all the way to the core of the earth. Deep inhales and exhales. And that red light at your core, right? Letting go of your perineum, and softening your buttocks, and feeling into your sacral center, the space below your belly button. And a deep inhale into the center through the nose. And a sigh, release. Feeling an orange light radiating through the sacral center, feeling all the sensations and the vibrations, any energy that feels stuck, that feels like pain, inhaling pleasure. Exhale and softening into the pain, into any ache, letting it soften, and inhale in. And exhale, soften and widen that orange light. And letting that orange light travel up to your solar plexus, the gateway of your emotions to your heart. Big breath in, root to the second chakra, to the solar plexus and the heart. Feeling into the expansion of the heart. Love center, feeling love come in, surround your body. Opening your throat, your third eye, and your crown. And a deep breath in. Palms together. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I feel all glowing now.
It didn't get very sexy, but we'll save that for below.
Yeah. We're leaving the episode with a cliffhanger. Like you get the erotic part of this meditation, the app.
Oh yeah, you could have a month free. Even that. I made a code, sensual. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Sensual. I'll double check. Yes, sensual. And you can have a month free. You can download on iOS. Google deleted the app because it was too sexy. And you can go to guidedbyglow.com. And when it says promo code, just put in sensual and you'll get a month free.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Go get your month free of Sensual Glow. Just guidedbyglow.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can follow guidedbyglow.com on Instagram. You can follow me or reach out to me at Sayra, Sayra Player, Sayra Player for on Instagram. And DMT Breathwork is my breathwork. There's too many things I do, y'all. Just go to Guided by Glow or Sayra Player on Instagram and you can figure out what it is you're looking for.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sayrah. Very happy to have you here at the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Sensualist, for being here. Go get glowing, at guidedbyglow.com. Don't stay like you're left here. Like just go there, claim your free access, and climax that meditation. And if you haven't already, go get my free guide to awaken sensuality at my website, candiaraquel.com, www.candiaraquel.com. Until next time, remember to sense your fire so you can share the flame.